Hello everyone, welcome to the 1st of September weekly market updates on technical insights. This Monday morning, Asian market traded mixed after we saw some profit taking in the US market last Friday. Japan Nikkei 225 index is down by 1.6%, while China's CSI 300 is largely flat. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index and Hang Seng Tech Index both jumped by more than 1.7% this morning. Over in the US last week, the S&P 500 index managed to touch a new all-time high last Thursday at 6,508 points. We ended Friday lower by 41 points to close at 6,460 points, but still managed to clock a close to 2% gain for the month of August. The 30 stocks Dow Jones Index closed slightly lower on Friday by 92 points or 0.2%. to 45,544 points, but rallied more than 3% for the month of August. Tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index also lost 249 points or 1.15% on Friday to close at 21,455 points and gained 1.6% for the month of August. NVIDIA was the stock that dragged most of the US indices down on Friday as their shares extended the recent losses with a fall of more than 3%. There were reports that Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba has created a more advanced chip and it looks to fill the gap left by NVIDIA running into all the export issues around selling its chips to China. US shares of Alibaba were up close to 13% last Friday, and this morning, Alibaba shares listed in Hong Kong jumped more than 17% on this news. Hence, the Hang Seng and the Hang Seng Tech Index jumped more than 1.7%. Back to Singapore. Our STI index ended the last week of August up 16 points or 0.4% to 4,269 points. Jardine Matheson Holding was the top weekly performer last week, up 5.2% for the period to US $60.59. Global asset manager Keppel also did well, gaining 4.7% for the week to $8.75, supported by its share buyback program. They bought 1.59 million shares at the average price of $8.41 in the first 4 trading days of last week, and this was on top of the 2.7 million shares that they bought in the previous week at $8.33. This morning, we also saw YangZiJiang Shipbuilding share price jump more than 6% in early hours trading on the back of its announcement that it has secured 22 new orders for its vessel. The announcement was made last Friday after the market closed. YangZiJiang announced that the new orders were worth US $920 million and are due for deliveries between 2027 and 2029, so it will not have any significant impact on the earnings for this year at least. With this announcement, it means that YangZiJiang Shipbuilding has secured orders with an aggregate value of nearly US $1.5 billion year to date. So for today's technical analysis, let's take a look at YangZiJiang Shipbuilding. This Monday morning, we saw that YangZiJiang share price jumped more than 6.8% or 20 cents to $3.11. Looking at the chart, we noted that YangZiJiang Shipbuilding share price had been volatile in the first half of this year. In the first quarter of the year, YangZiJiang Shipbuilding share price rallied to a year-to-date high of $3.32 on the 20th of February. In April, after the US tariff announcement, it caused YangZiJiang share price to plunge to a year-to-date low of $1.80. Prices then stabilized around the $2 to $2.30 level in the second quarter of the year. In the second half of the year, YangZiJiang share price rallied using the 20 days and the 50 days moving average as a key support level over here. The share price rose above the long-term 200 days moving average, which is the red line that you see here, on the 25th of July, marking the start of a very strong rally. Looking at YangZiJiang share price now, it has broken above the upper bound of the Bollinger Band, now standing at $3.09. The Bollinger Band basis on the 20 days moving average in green is now at $2.87 and will be the first support level for YangZiJiang share price. The lower bound of the Bollinger Band, now at $2.66, will provide the second level of support. Looking at the indicators, the MACD has a slightly negative reading, but we can see that the MACD line is converging upwards towards the signal line. And a crossover above the signal line is likely to happen in the next few trading sessions, and that could mark the start of a new uptrend. The RSI indicator is now at the 77-point reading, which is above the 70-point overbought level. This indicates that the current price is in the overbought territory, and investors should wait for a technical pullback before loading up on YangZiJiang shares again. With YangZiJiang share price trading above the upper bound of the Bollinger Band now, it would be wise not to chase the rally that we are seeing right now. Investors taking a more prudent approach may use the green line, which is 30 days moving average, as the first support to re-enter or further accumulate on YangZiJiang share price, targeting the year-to-date high of $3.32. And these are the updates that I have this week. If you do find this information useful, do remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest market movement. And I'll see you again next week in the next Technical Insight.